Dennis in Accra says the stealing of metallic covers on our route. I'll bring it one day. That will be Nana's topic. Listening at Akuko Photo in Sakiteteria. Once upon a time, I used to live down Akuko Photo, you know. West Hillsmore. From West Hillsmore, was it? Nana Kofi of the Vandal Shipping inside Tema Community 25. Thanks for joining. My boss says playtime is over. Malik says the last time Mommy from West Hills registered was September 2nd, 2024. Hey, Malik, what about it? Yeah, but then her excuse then was that she was in school, so maybe she's gone back to school. But thanks for the update. Malik is keeping records. All of you who are not registering, Malik Bebomudit. Folks, but we start the way we start. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa, and I say, thank God it's Monday. Another beautiful opportunity for us to meet up and perform radio's finest ritual. A ritual that brings patriots together. A ritual that brings discerning people together. A ritual that provokes our feeling. A ritual that brings our emotions to the fore. A ritual that I call That's My Opinion. Only on Joy 99.7 FM. Mondays at this time. And our topic today, folks, no bed syndrome. And to da. No bed syndrome. Let us all gather and make truth good. Folks, this is a very emotional topic. It's a very painful topic. It can be very annoying. It can be very hurtful, very frustrating. Folks, it can be mind-blowing. And you know the sad thing? We can all be victims. Each and every one of us, anytime at all, you can be a victim. 6th of February, 2026. Young man leaves home. Nice, faithful day, tells them, Mr. Charles Isiama, riding on his bike, goes to work, finishes his work, riding back home on his bike, has an accident. Bam! Hit and run. Driver doesn't stop. Man is probably lying down on the street, gasping for life. Bystanders call the ambulance. Ambulance respond on time, do their first aid, and proceed to take the victim to the hospital, as they should. Police hospital, no beds. Rage hospital, no beds. Whisk down, dash down to Korle Bu. The same story, no bed. All these facilities says, we have no bed. So you send your dying man away. Korle Bu says you can try Legon. At this point, the ambulance guy says, listen, this guy is suffering. We've been to 3 places. This is the 3rd place. We can't drive him from Korle Bu all the way to Legon to go and try our luck. Now, usually, the ambulance can call ahead of time to say, look, I'm bringing this patient. This is the condition. And then they prepare. However, the ambulance to the emergency unit phone calls are not consistent or reliable. So if you call 1, 2 and nobody picks up, you just have to try your luck. So literally the patient turns up as a surprise. But usually, if the triage team is aware there's a head injury coming, there's a broken leg coming, there's a punctured liver or punctured limb coming, they prepare before you get there. But this time, you have to just land there as a surprise guest. Ta-da! Here I am. What's wrong with him? It is now that the ambulance people are coming to inform you that it was a hit and run. Maybe we suspect internal bleeding. Maybe we suspect this head injury. They are now going to tell you. So you now have to go back and rally and find out what it is to mitigate the situation that is confronting you. Back and forth, they said, no. You must look after this patient. We have no beds. They said, you know something? We will offer you the stretcher. Keep the stretcher for a couple of hours to see if you can stabilize this man. According to the story, as the arguments were going back and forth, explanations going back and forth, reasons going back and forth, man suffers cardiac arrest. They try to resuscitate him. It doesn't work. Then and only then a doctor appears, comes to check the pulse, does everything and says, the patient is dead. Patient is dead, so go to the mortuary. Obviously, the nation was hurt. 29 years in his prime. Even though this issue has happened time and again, there's always that one that cuts. I think this was it. Now, before I even jump to it, I am glad that, there's been some interdiction. So you can tell that this time the authorities are taking the issue more seriously, where the staff that were on duty, that were supposed to have cared for this man, have been interdicted, going through investigation, and if they are found to to have done things which they shouldn't have done or refused, then they will obviously be punished. Now, this will send the fear of God through the system. But folks, I spoke to a couple of people before coming to do the show, and I spoke to a doctor who has worked in the emergency unit at Korle Bu. And he said, Nana, this is how it works. All referrals come to the emergency unit. All referrals. Even though not all the referrals are an emergency situation. Some are severe and some are emergency. So they classify the emergency ones as those who, if I don't look after this guy within 24 hours, he's gone. Those are emergency. The doctors attending to them to make sure that they live beyond the 24, 48, some are 72 hours. However, since Korle Bu has been at the receiving point, they've used the emergency unit as a reception, basically. So you transfer people from everywhere and they come straight to emergency, even though their situation may not be an emergency one. Yes, they may be in severe pain, but it's not dying. Maybe, severe, discomfort, but they are not dying. And they're on a bed. And here's an ambulance with a man that has suffered a hit and run. And yet, they said all the beds are full. And he told me a story. He said, Nana, can you believe that? One evening we were there and we had an emergency. Serious emergency. All my beds are full. He says, I look back. There's a guy in the emergency unit who has pneumonia, which is, he's not dying, but he's got pneumonia. He said, now while we are there trying to find a bed and trying to receive this person, Odi Bankuni tilapia. He's sitting on the bed eating bankun and tilapia, occupying the bed. And right out there's a dying man. He said, so I told the ambulance crew that, look, I'm going to hijack your trolley for the next 2-3 hours. Obviously, they're not happy because they can also work without the trolley. He says, I'm sorry, but you brought him here. So I'll seize the trolley and attend to this patient, and then you come back for your trolley later. He says, so usually when I come to work, I need to go through all the patients. He says some of them are maternity cases. They are not dying. They need care, they need attention, but not emergency. So immediately you have to force, that patient to be transferred to the maternity ward. Go and get looked after. There are people who have to be transferred to various wards to be looked after. But they all come and struck there and they stop the place. And so that's one major thing. That if there could be a protocol where people who need maternity health care but are not dying can go straight to the maternity ward to be looked after instead of coming to the emergency ward, that would help. That would help. Instead of a man, suffering from pneumonia. We're not saying pneumonia is good or but there's somebody dying and not who di bankun and tilapia. And now you nurses, apparently during the night, and this is our time na TikTok, and this why there. The social media TikTok, the gossip is coming in the night. Any excuse not to take anybody on board, because once they receive somebody on board, the reports and everything that you go through is massive. So ideally, they don't want to take anybody else. So if you notice, all this no bed syndrome thing usually happens at night. It usually happens at night. Because the night crew, they got their hands full. They have enough people on there and they don't want to have anybody come in. But by all means, folks, whether there's no bed, no floor, or no ceiling, somebody should be able to come out and attend to a dying man or a dying woman. So that even if you want that patient sent to Legon, you should be able to stabilize the person to a certain degree. And worst case scenario, and this is just me, even if it has to be on the floor, it has to be on the floor, because now we are talking life and death. We're not saying you got malaria or you got the cold chills. No, you are dying and I need to give you life. So even if it's on the floor, it's on the floor. Now I understand. Once you train all these experts, they also need the tools to work. They need the oxygen and they need all the bits and pieces to work. So if you turn up there and the doctor hasn't got oxygen and you need oxygen, I can understand how draining it will be on the doctor. But from our point, we who are not doctors, they're not trying at all. They're not trying at all. That is an insult to humanity. That is an insult to humanity. And you ask yourself, why is everybody being transferred to Korle Bu? Because that's where the personnel are. And so why then don't we send some of the personnel outside of Korle Bu? So somebody goes through, this grueling 6 years, 7 years of medical education, and they passed. So I've passed. Ziggy's passed. They put Ziggy to Ridge Hospital. At the end of the month, he gets X amount of CDs for his wages. They send me to the land of nowhere. At the end of the month, I'm going to get the same package as Ziggy gets. So now there's no incentive for people to leave the center, because those who are at the center then feel that they are at an advantage. Access to, if you have a family, you have access to schools, you have access to transportation, a much more comfortable living, and the same pay as those who are going into the hinterlands. Could there be a doubling of the wages if you go outside of Accra to make it worthwhile for people to go thinking, listen, if I earn 3,000 cedis in Accra, I'm going to get 6,000 cedis if I get outside of Accra. Could there be some incentive so that the amount of people that are being transferred down into Accra may halve or slow down? And obviously, as you're sending them there, you're sending equipment as well. Because people also then get frustrated that, listen, we see government people, we see people in Abang living a certain lifestyle and traveling aboard, to go and have checkups. And yes, why are you? Not even emergencies, just checkup, or checkup. And sometimes they can even announce it. Minister A or Mr. B has traveled there for a medical checkup. At the same time, there's somebody at Korle Bu begging. Just say, say oxygen, if I'm bleeding internally or something, just tell me something before you drive me away. So then we get angry. You see, so then we get angry. So for you and I think our anger then becomes twofold. Those who are controlling the pairs and those who are controlling our health. That no, we can do better. We must do better. We must do better because you send your loved one out on a noble mission as work, gets run down, and no facility would just pay attention. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, paying how can I help you? Then so that even if Korle Bu says take you to Legon, at least Korle Bu can even look at the patient and say, okay, your liver is bleeding, or your lungs are punctured or something, so we can even inform Legon that you're coming, but this is your condition. But I say, just get out of here. And you die. Gone, finished. You haven't got a second lease of life. Boom, that's it. That's it. So it's such a multifaceted issue. Personnel, some unwilling, some incapable, some, it's just so much. But I hope and pray that this is the last we will hear of an ambulance turning up at an emergency and the staff who are being paid. The only reason, honestly, it's just like me coming to stand behind the mic. Na zigisi kasa min kasa. I mean, while I drove from home, came here, turned on the mic, fold my arms and say min kasa. And nobody there. You are there because somebody would get sick, and then you would look after the person, and then at the end of the month you get paid. Somebody comes, they are sick, and you say min because empeniha. Hang them, suspend them, tie them, put them in a basket, bucket, whatever it is, give them life. Whatever it is, give them life. At least if the person died while you were trying, I won't be here doing a show, because at least you tried. At least you tried. Maybe you looked at the person, he needed oxygen, but there was no oxygen. You tried. You looked at the person, they needed blood, you didn't have blood. You tried. But zero. I was reading one of the comments, somebody says by Sunday, they will all be in church, praising, singing praises in church, waving their white handkerchiefs. Preach on, preacher, preach on. Meanwhile, just a day or a few hours ago, we just left a man to die. But I hope this interdiction, which you don't normally hear about, I hope this would send that fear down, So I think when the emergency staff get to work, they should really audit those on the bed. Do you need this bed? If not, get to the ward. Do you need this bed? If not, get to the ward. So the people who really need it may at least have a second chance. If it doesn't happen to you, you will never understand it. 0302 216 541. Usually happens at night, weekends, and holidays. In Accra, I think the medical professionals are well distributed. Most patients are sent to Korle Bu because most facilities in Accra use it as a dumping ground during weekends, holidays, and in the night. Someone was referred to Korle Bu maternity just because the facility in which he was, there was no water. And when she arrived at Korle Bu, we didn't have water too. Shem is on the line.
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for the shout out as well.
Yeah.
I was talking to the producer. I said, studio audience, don't worry. So we're on food actually.
Yes,
so we move around events and stuff.
Oh, good.
Now, this issue you're talking about, I like the way you gave the intro because it will press buttons on people. For me, like this, Nana, December 23rd, I lost a relative to drowning in Pampam. 23rd, the whole family was devastated, Nana.
Wow.
In Ghana, even after you are dead, Nana, I see another whole issue. Nana, to date, we've not been able to register the death. Nana, ask me why. All because we didn't ask for postmortem. Therefore, out of rule, we need to do it fast. For him to go, you need to bury him. Nana. You register a wound. Say the penny wound, Nana, to date, you register. And let's say Nana, you've gone all the way to Tama. Tama tell you come back to Pampam. Do this. Nana, BBS. They said that because we said we don't want to do a postmortem, the doctor didn't look at the body, so the doctor should put something. Some people say at birth and death in other offices, say the cause of death doesn't necessarily need to be there because Banana, we are being stressed because of that. So on paper, the person is still alive. Ghana on my way. The family is already going through it. You even a lay down procedure, Nana. Hey! Since 23rd December, we buried him 27th or 28th or so, to date. Today, 23rd. And we live in a country where this is where, when I talk, then people will say, and this is all that we have. PP and NBC, especially MPP, Nana, for the last 8 years, we had the president who spent over $100 million going to build a church, Nana. Whilst we don't have beds, Nana, we don't have beds. Are we okay? And we sit down for these same people to board airplanes to say that they are going for checkup. Are we okay? Are we okay? We sit down for people to tell us they want to work on the education system and they take their children outside. They are schooling outside. The whole family is outside. But they claim they want the betterment of Ghana. Why? Are we okay as a people? Why would we wake up? And this is why I'm saying it goes like this. You can't wake up somebody who's pretending to be asleep because they can die. It's high time we sit up. It's high time we stop looking for any offer. And I know go be today till date we are still fighting over Cocoa. Something Kwame Nkrumah proposed over decades ago. We are still in the same place. But yet people don't even want to treat Kwame Nkrumah's homes because we are. Why do we do this as a people? And I always say it's a leadership problem. Because we allow them to do what they want. They don't construct roads, they wake up very late and come and use poppy and push us off the road so that they can just pass in the middle of the road and get to where they are going in time. Who told you I don't want to get to where I want to go in time? So this is what we do to ourselves. And we still go to the polls and still do MPP and NDC. Every time I say this, people say, oh, Shem, it's not them. It's not them, it's who? No matter how good a person is, the moment you enter into the system, it will cannibalize you. No matter how individually, maybe a person because start partying. Hey! Let me just say this joke. When I go change Katie Hammond, you the wrong person. When I go change Katie Hammond, or now I go change wine. Like, let us speak truth to power. MPP, for instance, they don't have any iota of any honesty or integrity to even hold somebody to say we are the minority and therefore we need to scrutinize. We need to scrutinize what? We had 8 years. Agenda 111. How many did they build? Couldn't they have used that $100 million to do something? So now, when we sit in a country and we allow people, and then the media houses, and I can't stop calling them. We don't need to hear them. They've caused enough harm. We are okay with that, Nana. Like, because it's like we are recycling over the same issues day in and day out. How do you live in a country that have so much natural resources and we can't afford a bed? Children are still running under trees. Today, to be I can't register the death. So the person is still alive, theoretically. The person is still alive. Oh, Ghana for the why? Let us stop putting the food to the fire. We just doing this and then I know for Nana, no banning, no national, no media, and the honor they will be at your hanty. Oh, Charlie, no constitution, oh, Nana, thank you for this topic. Thank you very much, Nana.
And I share that passion. I wonder if nurses and health professionals at our various public health facilities get fired or sued. This country, even God is amazed at us. We can waste money, allow some people to steal in the millions, and nothing will happen to them from 1st January to 31st December. All we do here in the Democratic Republic of Nyamebechre is just listening and complaining about their problems. Start firing and suing hospitals, health professionals, among others, and see if something better will happen. Elsewhere, there's a high cost for disobedience and neglect. Over here, they say, Famenyame. Even God will punish you if you do not do the right thing. And you sit here and say, Famanyame, Makosby, Anthony. KK is in Accra. Hello, KK.
Yeah, hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good, KK.
Very good. I listened to the last caller, and I'm not too happy with the way he twisted the whole issue. What he rather did was to politicize it. I think we rather have a government in power who is supposed to address all these issues. Now, for him to go back and begin to call the MPP, it's as if he wants to turn the whole program into MPP. He blamed MPP for many of the issues he raised. He blamed MPP throughout. And I don't think your program is meant for that. We actually have a government in power. He is supposed to ensure that there's actually sanity in our system. But for him to go back and begin to talk about MPP and that Nanado use 100 million. 100 million for what? Now, I'm praying and I'm hoping that when people like that come on your platform, you correct them. Address the issue and begin and stop calling people from the past. MPP is gone. They are no more in power. The NDC is currently quickly come back to the issue of the problem at Korle Bu.
Thank you.
My in fact suggestion is that if they will reduce the salary of doctors in Accra and probably shore up in fact the salary of those in the hinterland, I think that it will help more. It will rather encourage many people to go to the villages to work, in fact, rather than trying to concentrate themselves in Accra. That's my view for now.
I think I share that view with you. Hi, Nana. This topic is a very worrying one. How can this be in the practice of healthcare service provision? In health practice, by emergency response, there should be one bed available in a hospital for any emergency case. And this is a must. Either they call or not. This is taught in nursing school, and nurses and doctors are aware of this. So why is there not just one bed in such case? Now, our health workers are failing us in this no bed syndrome. Francis in Accra. Chidiak, it's been a while.
Yeah, no, it's a while, yeah, sure.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Sure. Your last caller, I also disagree with him. Is he telling us that when people do wrong things, we should not name and shame them? We should keep quiet over it. Is that what he means?
Well, I think
MPP has caused harm to us for 8 years. If he says he doesn't like it, I'm telling him, he must hear it. Anyway, let's go this way. The creatures God has made, the most wisest creature God has made are human beings. And they are the most intelligent creature God has made, isn't it? Okay. But when you watch, human beings are the only creatures God that they've made laws to guide. Because we are the most reckless human beings if they leave us to do things on our own. That is why laws are made, punishments are made to guide the human being. The most intelligent creature, they made laws to guide them. Because if you leave them, they will do things the way they want it. Monitoring. What is monitoring doing at the hospital? Equipment. There are people that must see to it that equipments are well kept up to date. What are they doing? They are taking salaries. The nurses, are they not taking salary? They should put a camera everywhere in Ghana offices so that they'll be monitoring everywhere because everybody is doing whatever he or she likes. No monitoring anymore in this country. So long as you leave the people to do things on their own, there's no punishment. This is the result we shall get in our nation. So nobody should blame anybody. The city or even the minister, are they not Ghanaians? It's the same Ghanaians that are the ministers, they are the police, they are everything. So nobody should blame anybody. We, the human beings, as Ghanaians, we are hypocrites. We are not correct. We are killing our nation. We turn around and then we blame, and the same people will come, and the same thing is going on. Who is supposed to do the monitoring in the hospitals? Are they not the same Ghanaians? Are they not taking salary? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chedi. This is Nana. I want us to look at something. After Chema General Hospital, there is no government hospital that you can access during an emergency unless you head towards Bato. The question I ask is, why is Pram Pram Polyclinic not being given a facelift or other hospitals built? I get scared of living in Pram Pram because in an emergency, where can I go? If you ever entered Pram Pram Polyclinic, you won't like to go there. For Tema General Hospital, it is for another day's discussion. Shame is back. Hello, Shame.
No, the second caller, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I didn't get his name. Unfortunately, you see, probably he doesn't know me. I'm a very young veteran of the Ghana Armed Forces. I dedicated 5 years, 294 days of my life to serve Ghana, not NPP or NDC. And I've never worn politically colored underpants before. I don't speak for NPP, neither do I speak for NDC, neither do I speak for any political party. I'm a young patriotic Ghanaian who speaks for Ghana. Ghana runs through my blood. Therefore, don't let it seem as if by not talking about our yesterday, we can get somewhere today. We cannot skip over that. We cannot gloss over that. Nobody is here to make you feel as if you didn't commit any error. You didn't do anything wrong. After all, even if you didn't do anything and you converted that $100 million to even buying beds for all hospitals in Ghana, do you know where we will be? So this is what happens. From his voice, I could tell probably he's older than me. So if these are the elderly people we have, we the youth will advise ourselves. Because right now it looks like in Ghana, age doesn't come with that kind of vibe we want to vibe to, because the elderly ones are the ones misleading the country.
Calm down.
Our president, our former president, look at his age. Our recent president, look at his age. And these are the people we think they can govern because we've constituted it to be as if they are the iota of wisdom. You can't keep on doing the same thing and expect different results. That's the definition of insanity. I never ever speak for NPP or NDC. I will never do it. Now, let me say this. If I lie on a sick bed and I was told to vote for either NPP or NDC to get life, I'll rather depart. I'll go and continue the next journey. That is how I'm not partisan at all. So you should get it right. If he's one of those
calm down. Now, folks, I mean, we are talking about how it is that we can resolve this issue. Because one day, I mean, me like this in my midlife crisis, once in a while I hop on the bike. Can you imagine? Here on Timotos, because I can serious. But one day, any of us could end up there. And maybe discussions like this will prompt policymakers to think that, listen, everybody's now saying that Korle Bu has become the dumping ground. Weekends, holidays, and at night. You go to any facility, they don't want to do it here. Korle Bu. The Korle Bu people too are also there thinking, they are bringing us another one here. And it could be us. So if indeed Korle Bu is the dumping ground, and people, I mean, Dr. Friend I spoke to says, Nana, somebody can drive from Tamale in the morning and get to Korle Bu at night. What are you going to do? But he's sick, but he's not dying. But he has to come through emergency because by that time, OPD is shut. So he can't go to any other ward other than through the emergency. So maybe that protocol, I don't know, maybe we need a 24-hour OPD where people can go there and then you will go, they take you to the proper places you need to go. Maybe, it could be a maternity case. You just have to go to the maternity ward. You don't need to come and occupy a bed in there. So that protocol, maybe, as we discussed, could change. But Ajimai Joseph is on the line. Hello, Ajimai.
Good evening, and I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, my brother.
And my first question is, first of all, why should some departments of the hospital be closed during the night? The OPD that we are talking about, you go there from 10 thereabouts, you get employees to take it. I sent somebody to the hospital and they told me that those in charge are not there. So we are just trying to do something to reduce the pain for you. Sometimes you go there, they say the doctor is not there. And you'll be lying down and it's between you and your God. Hospital work and the politics, it's like we don't take Christianity to hospital or to be a politician. But they've made it to us to understand that that's what we do. That's how it is. Because what seems to be emergency for you is not emergency for the doctor. After all, the death we have been seeing all the time. So you are not the first person who is coming to die. This is our problem. This is our problem. So for me, I thank God that I'm able to take good care of myself, and God is also taking care of me, and I don't go to the hospital with any sickness. I wish a lot will be there without forensic, so that these doctors will be there doing their business elsewhere. Because one doctor will be working with 3 hospitals. So you go there, they say, this doctor will come Wednesday. The specialist will come Saturday. Why should it be so? Why can't they run 24 hours? And I'll go with you.
Go be with you too, my brother. This one says, Cosby says, the president says National Day of Prayer. Let us have a National Day of mentality change to decide to become good. When we do, change will start to become. I lost my brother-in-law some 3 years ago to medical negligence, and it hurts. Hello, Nana. How do you do? It's very sad to still be hearing things like this in this current world we live in. Honestly speaking, our leaders are not serious and wicked. Thank you for the show. From Lovelace Nana Yao in New York, in UK, aka British German one. Pico's in Tema says, Nana, what's going on in our hospitals will shock you. You are sick and you don't have money, you have to pay bribe. I'm saying this on authority. Samuel is in Osu. Hello, Samuel.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to share my little story. That is an experience I had at a hospital close to Dankwa Circle.
Can you summarize it?
Okay.
Good. Let's go.
I think my dad was very ill, emergency. He couldn't do anything. I rushed him to the hospital. Even someone to come and check on him. They were all saying, "Oh, this is how they not call baby." They were just there until I just took a decision that no, I wouldn't allow this old man to be here and something bad happened to him. So I had to rush him to a private hospital before they were able to attend to him. So I'm just wondering how many people can afford private hospitals in times of this. Nana, thank you.
Thank you very much, and that's a real case. But you see, folks, let me say this on record. I mean, I know we, punching and bastardizing Korle Bu, but I'm telling you, if you are in critical condition, the only place that you are likely to survive is Korle Bu. I'm telling you. So yare pana atu kinkringa. The place that you would need to go and get and survive is Korle Bu. Don't take it lightly at all. No matter how rich or whatever it is you are, you go to all your fancy dadaba clinics and everything, but when it gets to the crunch, you will have to go to Korle Bu. So all we are saying is that just the service, just the empathy, I think that's what we are saying. That's what we say. I don't want to say, oh, Korle Bu is a dev zone, Korle is not. No. I'm telling you, the doctors there, the nurses there are top. It's just that if you get them in a bad mood, it can be really bad. But they are absolute on top of their game. And I have stories of, patients who've gone there and they are literally vegetable and they come back, say, Yasani area. Obviously, but it's just that general perception and that, because once one person dies, I'm sure 100 people survived, 200 people survived, but we don't care. You are judged by your last service you provided. That's how you were judged by. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, you were nice to all the other guys, but Friday you were not nice. Then that's it. we'll mark you by, you say, you're not nice. Yao in Asante region? Yao.
Yes, good evening, Nana.
Hello, my brother. Let me hear you.
Nana, it's so sad with this issue, okay? Because I also had a problem. I had an accident in Accra, and I was taken to police hospital. The treatment I had, honestly,
it is very disturbing and heartbreaking to see our world involved in such a misconduct. We are in the various field.
Hello?
Yeah, let me hear you.
Yes. They just, after treatment, I dozed off. I woke up and I realized that I was on a bed without a bed sheet. And I was like, if there is an infection on it, I would have picked it home. I don't blame anybody. Just as the last caller said, we should blame the politicians. Go to police hospital right now. Every accident is taken there. A facility has been there, okay, for 9 years. If that facility is completed, I think the doctors or the nurses could get some space to work. Because the whole place is crowded. I'm not holding plea for them. I've been a victim. I was there. The treatment I had, the doctors were willing to treat me, but where to accommodate me. So within a short time, I had to be discharged. Go home. I should go home. The facility is there.
Oh, sorry. The outpatient dispatchment is not 24-hour service. Emergency units covers up during the night. Most of emergency units are too small. Departments should have their own emergencies and referrals and should be done appropriately so that A&E can have serious cases. Thank you very much. I am Nana Ansah Kwao. Say until the lions have their own historians, tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. My international producers, Ziggy and Oliver, always on the ones and twos. Thank you very much. Lois is here, poised for the news bulletin. Kofi Hayford will come and give you some soul-searching tunes. Some tunes for us to repent of our sins, basically. God willing, next Monday, we'll be back to do this whole